And welcome back to the Crypto Hulk Show. Got a great one lined up for you. There's a lot of news happening. Good morning, Las Vegas. Now, who's in Las Vegas? Botanicals LV. Yep, I was just in one of my favorite cities. Although if I lived in Las Vegas, it would be a suburb, definitely. I would not live in Las Vegas, but be somewhere nice. Summerlin, like Las Vegas or something. Henderson. One of those newer areas, something like that. Anyhow, welcome back again. Hopefully I'll be back up in Las Vegas in April or something. I like to go there a few times a year. It's really cheap, actually. Living in Reno, the flights are super ridiculously cheap, and the hotel deals that you can get. It's a nice little getaway, you know. Let us start with, my name is Crypto Hulk. I'm not a financial advisor, not a crypto advisor, none of the above. Don't buy anything I tell you to buy. Don't sell anything I tell you to sell. I don't know anything about crypto at all, zero. I don't know anything about financial advising, nothing of the sort. What I do know about is hardcore drug use, heroin, cocaine, hashish, LSD, peyote, Demerol, date rape drugs, whatever it is. I'll just pound it, eat it, drink it, snort it, inject it, everything. For the past 5.5 years, that's all I've done. I don't sleep. I just do hardcore drugs all the time. There's your legal disclaimer. Okay. Now, Michael Saylor. Everybody, we're going to look into Michael Saylor. So this guy's been pumping billions. Oh, man. Oh, God, what a train wreck. To refresh your memory, in the .com, okay, so what happened last time we had a revolution, a global technical revolution, it was called the internet. The internet was given to us by the government and a 3-letter agency so they could spy on us and without us knowing. And this thing called the greatest spy network of all time. Facebook was right there from the beginning and all these things. They're part of it and all that. All of them are. Facebook was probably one of the original government spy tools where it was like the best. It's like people are putting all their business where they're buying dope and crime and all the stuff they're doing, and they rob people and they put it and they show their friends pictures and the government's just watching, saying these people are so fucking stupid. And we got Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor has been pumping billions and billions. Look at the article right here. It's ridiculous. This Michael Saylor guy, like, everybody knows. I've been telling you, like, this could turn out very, very badly for Michael Saylor. I don't know how it's going to end up, but I'm going to tell you what. I don't put everything I have into one thing. That's the dumbest fucking shit you could ever do. MicroStrategy is in talks with banks for Bitcoin management. Michael Saylor will have a collapse risk at 10 to 20% by 2026. It's not looking good for Michael Saylor and his MicroStrategy business where he bought billions of dollars in Bitcoin. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Now, when the internet first hit the scene around 1997 and stuff, it was called the .com boom. And then there was a .com bust. Okay, so during the boom, Michael Saylor did the same thing back then. He never learned his lesson the first time. Now there's a possibility he's not going to learn his lesson this time. So in the old days, he invested heavily in buying up .coms or whatever that never ended up. It was just like in the old days. It was like the meme coins of today. And some of these cryptos I won't mention of today, where people are just buying these cryptos. Like for me, I just don't buy a crypto because I think it's going to go up. As much as that's attractive sometimes, I don't do that. Not that it's bad, and it's not bad. I just don't do it. What I do on my program is I show you, you watch my program. I don't need to explain. I do research. I present all the evidence to you. And then whether you want to invest in something or not, you basically look at the evidence that I provided. Then you go back and you do your own research. And then you listen to maybe if I have an opinion on something, but you ultimately make your own decision. I've always been telling you guys, diversify. When I first got into crypto, I didn't know anything. So for the dumb people out there, oh, Crypto Hulk used to only talk about XRP all the time. Maybe VeChain. Now he's talking about all kinds of cryptos. He even said, yeah, that's why I didn't know anything. So after 5.5 years, I've learned a lot. See, I'm not an investor. What did I tell you at the beginning of the show? I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an investor. I don't know shit. I don't. If you choose to follow this program and follow me, great. But I don't know anything about crypto. I don't know anything about financial advice. Don't I say that for like fucking 5.5 years now? Dumbass. Wow. These people out there are so fucking stupid. And so I've learned over the past 5.5 years, I've learned how to really, really deep dive and find out information to help me decide, do I want to invest in this crypto or not? So as a service, what I do is I'll show you the evidence I find, all the connections and this and that, whether I buy something or not. Sometimes I'll tell you, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't want to prejudice your opinion. Crypto Hulk, why aren't you buying that? How do you know I didn't? How do you know I didn't lie when I didn't buy it and I did? Because I don't want you to copy trade me. I want you to make a decision on something that you figured out on your own. Not because, well, I'm going to buy it because Crypto Hulk buys it. Oh, I'm going to sell it. Crypto Hulk sells it. Maybe you should. Maybe you shouldn't. I just don't want to have that liability or that stigma that, oh, I copied everything Crypto Hulk did and I got wrecked on this one crypto. Hey, you got to make your own decisions. Now, during the dot-com bust, a lot of people lost billions, including Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor was like one of the biggest losers in the dot-com bust. He lost, like, he's at the top 3 or whatever of losing. He's the biggest fucking loser back in the dot-com. Now we have a new boom. It's called crypto. It's another revolution. The other one was like 25 years ago or something, right? Here we are again, 25 years later. So here's the difference. When I started Crypto Hulk, I'm not an investor. I didn't know anything about crypto. I don't know anything about investing. And what I did know was that XRP appeared to me to be the best crypto on the planet. Now, after 5.5 years, I've realized I can't just put everything in it. That's the dumbest thing. Then I'd be like Michael Saylor, ready to get my cheeks clapped, okay? So what I do now is I research all kinds. I do research now that I never even thought. I mean, I do research that no other channel's even found. So after these 5.5 years, in like June or May, it'll be like 6 years of doing this. I mean, shit, this has been like, oh shit, Saylor, my mentor. Here's Mr. OG. God, he finds stuff fast. Saylor, my mentor, lost $13.5 billion. So Mr. OG just kind of confirmed what I was saying. He lost $13 billion of all these people's money. My goal is to try to show you guys research. Look, I can't research everything. Hey, some of these stories, news articles, I'll do the deep dive and I'll show you. And then we'll come upon, I don't have time to fully look. Some of these times I spend 3 hours getting articles and show together. I don't have 4, 5, 6 hours to investigate every single rabbit trail in my show. And sometimes I'll say, you know what? Let me look that up. I'm like, oh shit, that's a crypto. I mean, I'm trying my best to do research and to show you guys different opportunities. We don't want to put everything into one. Now that I've been around and hearing about investing, and I learned a little bit here and there, but one thing I know is diversification of your assets are important. So what I do is I stay in the payments area. So I'm not an expert on any of this stuff. I'm just some guy that does some research. That's it. Okay. Now, where I have a good fit are payment cryptos, banking system stuff. I don't understand everything. I don't have to. Here's an iPhone. I don't even know 90% how this phone works. It does all kinds of shit. I don't even know. I can't tell you any tech thing about this, but you know what? I use this fucking phone for 5.5 years to make this show, to make us all rich. That's what I do know. So I don't need to understand how all the circuits work in that phone. And that shit doesn't fucking matter. What I do is research. I can find the smartest people in the industry and what are they doing? Now, what are they saying? I can find the biggest banks in the industry and I can find all the government connections and this and that. And I show you and you decide whether you want to invest. You know what? And sometimes that investing involves gambling. It involves risk. If you're not a solid individual, see, look, here's how I am. I'll do all my research. I'll think of the consequences and then I'll fucking do it. That's just how I am. Win, lose, or whatever. You have to be able to pull a trigger and deal with the consequences. That's why I have gold and silver. I've been selling on this channel for like 4 years. Right below this video, you'll see the Caleb Brown link. Below the video, that's for the crypto custody. If you want to buy or sell crypto, Caleb Brown's the one for that. And then I got the Crypto Hulk lawyer. And then you got to have protection from the government because we are competition to the banks. And the banks are going to try to take our crypto, and the government's going to be their Satan's little helper to do it. But I've been selling this gold and silver. That's my hedge. So if everything with crypto goes bad, somehow, I don't know. Let's just have an imaginary event that's called the oh shit event, and every single crypto I have gets liquidated, goes to zero. That's why I have gold and silver. I'm walking away with this with a nice fucking house. And if this thing works out great, I'm going to have a beautiful fucking gorgeous mansion. But at least I'm walking away with a decent house that's paid off and shit. I want my car paid off or whatever, and a little bit of money in the bank. That's what my gold and silver is going to do. I've already known since 2020, crypto gold's going to be 10 to 12,000 an ounce. If it ends up more, hey, great. But I was already talking about that shit on my channel back in 2020. I'm like, gold's going to be 10 to 12,000 per ounce. I left my other water bottle in Las Vegas. So I found this at TJ Maxx. I've lost 2 water bottles now. They run like $50 a piece. I've lost 2 so far this year. I left that brown one in Las Vegas. I'm like, fuck. I don't know how I did it. I don't know. So I went to TJ Maxx yesterday and found this one. I think it was like $35 or something, or 25. So anyhow, that's the story of my life. So what you have to do is this, and I'm telling you this because we're on a journey to be rich, and some of you don't need any encouragement, and some of you do. But it's like, I'm just speaking on how I think. I don't care about the prices right now. It really doesn't matter to me. I focus on fundamental news and what's going to happen. These day-to-day, up, down, here today, gone tomorrow, here today, gone. I don't fucking care. All that shit is just noise. I look at fundamentals on cryptos, and I go in, I dive in, and I buy. Sometimes I'll sell. I know where this ends up. I just really started buying crypto about maybe a year ago when I joined Caleb Brown as an affiliate. So for like 4 years or whatever it was, I didn't buy any crypto at all. When I first got into crypto, I took a loan, a minimum loan, and I can tell you how much, of $8,000, and bought XRP at 15 to 28 cents. And that was it. I thought, again, because I didn't know anything about investing, I'm not a financial advisor. So I put everything into one crypto that I believed in. That was XRP. And over the years, I realized there's different cryptos have different use cases. I'm learning as I go. I'm learning. That's why I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a professional. That's why I give the disclaimers. I'm just somebody who looks up crypto news, and I can find shit nobody else can. Stuff that's interesting to me. And then there's other people out there that can find stuff that I can't. Great. I'm not in a pissing contest. I don't fucking care. So there we have it. And you're going to have to make a decision. I make a decision. I'll buy a crypto. I put $3,000 or whatever into Linnea. And if now it's down at $1,200, sucks. Hopefully it does what I think it's going to do. And if not, then I just lost 3,000. Life goes on. That's just how you have to do this. I don't get emotional when I invest. I think about shit. I think about I could lose it all, and then I fucking do it. That's how I do it. Some of these cryptos will be wieners, and some will be losers. So I don't know which ones will be which. This whole crypto space is so fake. Government's involved, pretending like they're not, and all that. And the government's working with people we don't know or who are government actors and all these things. You just don't know who's real and who's not in crypto. You'll have certain people that might be crypto influencers that are really government agents, and you don't really know who those people are. Some of them put out misinformation to keep crypto prices down, to keep people confused, because that's what the government wants. While they're setting up, the government and the central bank is setting up a whole crypto system. They want people confused. They don't want you to know what cryptos are good. That's why this channel is so hammered and shadow banned on all platforms. This channel, I can't even get my videos out there. They reject these videos like all the time. It's crazy. That's what tells me, you know what? I'm on the right track. People's channels that just blow out and they get 500,000 or 1 million followers. How's that? You're obviously not telling the truth, because you'd be shadow banned and kicked off like me. So if you're not, very interesting what's happening. That's the bullshit meter. Look at a channel. Somebody comes out of nowhere and just skyrockets in popularity. They're not telling you anything that's important enough to get their channel shadow banned. So something's going on with that channel. That's how I've seen all this happen. Somebody new comes up, and bam, they take off. No fucking way. These social media platforms shadow ban the fuck out of crypto stuff. How does a channel grow so fast? I know. Crypto Hulk knows. You're giving out information that's not accurate. All right. So this Michael Saylor right here. MicroStrategy's leaders are in talks with major U.S. banks like BNY Mellon, Wells Fargo, about entering Bitcoin management and buying set to start in 2026. Estimates suggest that the probability of total collapse for MicroStrategy could be 10 to 20% by next year, potentially impacting the broader crypto market significantly. The estimates say, again, Michael Saylor right now could potentially be at a 1 out of 5 chance that he's going to lose it all. All of his investors and shareholders lose billions and billions and billions. Maybe it doesn't happen. I'm not wanting it to. I'm just letting you know what this research report says. There's not much to it. This article is pretty much done. I just wanted to show you that as a lesson. Don't put everything into one. What you don't want to do. Hey, I've trimmed up my cryptos, and the first of the month's coming along. And those people that are $500 members, I'll share with you what cryptos I buy and what my ratios and stuff are. If you call me, I'm not going to put it out here, but if you're a $500 member, I'll tell you exactly which ones I bought and why. Some people just like to know, not that I know anything. Now, we have another article here, Spur Bank, not the sperm bank where you donate your, you know what. This is Spur, SBER Bank, all one word. It's out of Russia. Oh, shit. That's a Ripple partner, by the way. I'm not going to show the evidence now. I've done it a million times. Spur Bank. What are they doing? Spur Bank issues Russia's first crypto-backed loan to Bitcoin. Spurbank used its in-house crypto custody tool to back a loan for a mining firm. It's called Intellion Data, signaling broader interest in crypto lending. Spurbank issued Russia's first Bitcoin-backed loan to a major Bitcoin miner, marking a pilot transaction with potential for future expansion. The loan utilized Spurbank's crypto custody product, the Rutoken, to secure the Bitcoin collateral, ensuring asset safety. Spurbank is exploring decentralized DeFi. Spurbank is exploring DeFi. We're at the beginning, everybody. I've been telling you. I've already told you. I can't tell you the date and time, but I can show you the sign of the times, right? Now we're getting into another article. We talked the other day about a bank getting into DeFi. Now we have Spurbank getting into DeFi. They're exploring. Sure, they already know where this ends up. This is one where they say they're exploring, but they're really getting the public used to this. Okay, that's what this is all about. Spurbank is exploring DeFi and supports the gradual legalization of cryptocurrencies in Russia. I'm letting you know, everybody, they're bringing it on. Have you seen? Remember all the banks and everybody around the world, oh, crypto's bad. Crypto's for criminals. Now all of a sudden it looks like Russia might be using all the crypto, the United States. That's how they all do it. Crypto's all bad. Scare everybody out of it. Spurbanks, Russia's second largest bank. Oh, damn. Issued the country's first Bitcoin-backed loan to one of its largest Bitcoin miners, calling the transaction a pilot and suggesting it was keen to issue more in the future. Well, isn't that interesting? We believe this product will be relevant not only for the cryptocurrency miners, but also for companies that own cryptocurrencies. The bank said Russia's second largest bank is entering DeFi right now. It's not even 2026. I think big things are coming. The bank said it used its own crypto custody product. Oh, it has its own token on top of that? How very interesting. It's called the Rutoken. RU is Russia, country code, by the way. To hold the Bitcoin uses collateral for the crypto loan. The loan was secured by digital currency mined by Intellion. The loan is an important practical example for the industry. This is an example An example for the industry, everybody. Just reading the article from CoinDesk is what it's saying. The reason we're having this article today is because this is a practical example for the industry and an indicator that the market is reaching a new level, which, if proven effective, could be scaled up and used in the Russian mining industry. Oh, what are we seeing here? What are we seeing? The bank already offers clients structured bonds, digital financial assets. Oh, really? With investments in Bitcoin and Ethereum and cryptocurrency baskets. Oh, wow. The bank is currently testing DeFi instruments, everybody. Russia's second biggest bank is currently testing decentralized finance. This is massive right here. Whoa. Now, it goes into what Crypto Hulk has. When Crypto Hulk was showing you I'd have to go to my posts. Well, no, it's hidden in there. Anyhow, I have a section where we go over Z payment. I'll just tell you what it is and not show you because I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. Z payment is when Ripple, and nobody else on the internet has even shown you guys this. It's in one of my shows the other day. But if you go to my post section, you can find the Z payment. In 2014, January 9th, Ripple and the use of XRP, both, not just the XRapid and that whatever shit, no. Ripple, because it says it in there, and the XRP were used by Z Payment, which is a crypto platform. They have digital rubles, all kinds of stuff. This was 11 years ago in Russia. This was already done. The Z Payment is a crypto platform. It was around right before Bitcoin, 2007. Oh, shit. So, yeah, we've had a crypto payments platform before Bitcoin came about. And right now they're doing DeFi in Russia. This is where all this ends up. Let me click onto that. We're at the 28-minute mark. Let's get into India right now. All right. One of the biggest countries of the world, Russia. I've shown you the Ripple connections to the Russian payment system, Z payment, and all that. Now we're going to look at one of the next biggest countries of the world by population, India. And again, Ripple connections with that and crypto. Crypto getting rolled out. The article here, it's called the 420. It's Sunday, December 28th, 2025 article. How it looks like R1, how R1 gets paid in 2 seconds, everybody. The hidden technology behind India's digital payments. What is that hidden technology? XRP and Google working together. I'm going to show you with evidence, not my opinion, with evidence. Then we're doing a Grok search, and I'll show you what Grok said, and he confirmed, yeah. A customer scans a QR code at a roadside tea stall and pays a rupee using UPI. The transaction completes in under 2 seconds. Smooth, silent, and seemingly ordinary. Yes, as explained by the Center for Police Technology. This small transaction triggers one of the most advanced and resilient financial technology ecosystems in the world. At the scale India operates, even a 1 rupee transaction must meet the same standards of security, compliance, and reliability as a 1 core transfer. There's no small transaction in digital finance, says the Center for Police Technology. At the core of this new ecosystem is the National Payments Corporation of India, Ripple partner, about to show you this, they've only been doing this for 7 years, which runs the Unified Payment Interface, UPI. It's an interoperable ledger. Gee, I think it's Ethereum? Fat chance. NPCI acts as a real-time payment switch, securely connecting banks, fintech platforms, and merchants without ever holding customer funds. Oh, man. I wonder what crypto platform this is, Crypto Hulk. We have no idea. National Payment Corporation of India's UPI payment switch. It's a switch. They flipped the switch. Imagine that. It's a switch that seamlessly routes the transaction request between the customer's bank and the merchant's acquiring bank or fintech service provider. Real-time fraud detection engines assess risk in milliseconds using behavioral analytics and transaction intelligence. They're using AI already. They're already using AI and the Ripple ledger without disturbing the user experience. Regulatory and compliance checks are done. AML is done. Everything's all good. Cybersecurity systems remain alert throughout, even when no visible threat is detected. For the T vendor, the QR code represents far more than a payment symbol. It connects them to enterprise-grade fintech infrastructure like the XRP ledger and its interledger protocol covering reconciliation, settlement, reporting, and audit readiness. Once only available to large businesses. Oh, like the top banks in the world are already hooked up? Pretty much. The real success of India's BFSI platform is that the complexity is completely hidden from the citizen. Trust is engineered so deeply that people don't even realize it exists. Oh, well, now let's do a little looky-loo here. And let's look into NPCI. And let's look into UPI right now. I've only been showing you this for years. Not a big deal. Let's see what crypto company and what tech company has been in India for 8 years working on this. Gee, I have no idea, Crypto Hulk. Well, you little bastard. Here's the article right here. Google-backed payment company Ripple. What? Let me repeat that again. Google-backed payment company Ripple. Oh, shit. Is in talks with NPCI. Oh, wait a sec. We were just talking about that. Yeah. Google-backed payment company Ripple is in talks with banks in India and the National Payments Corporation of India to facilitate account-to-account transfers globally without having to be part of any payment network. Axis Bank of India and Yes Bank of India are the first Indian banks to come on board with Ripple out of San Francisco. Oh, shit. When is this? This was 8 years ago, April 27, 2017. I've only been showing you this article for years. Not a big deal. Unlike Swift, a messaging platform, which is the dominant medium for global payments, Ripple is a messaging as well as a settlement platform. Oh, interesting. We are one of the pioneers in the in use of the concept of blockchain for payment. But Ripple today has evolved the growth concepts of blockchain, keeping in mind how banks work with each other. By joining Ripple, Yes Bank and Axis Bank will be able to come up with low-cost and efficient remittance for the Gulf area, Abu Dhabi, the National Bank of Abu Dhabi, oh man, Saudi Arabia, oh man, all this is done. That is very Crypto Hawk. This is, see, what I do is I show you a news article and I show you the exact facts. So now we have, now why is Google mixed in? Well, Google is a day one Ripple partner, along with China. I already showed that already. So Google and China were the first ones with Ripple to help support it on paper. Now Google has something called Native Client that they bought. And Ripple used Native Client in a project called Codius, which never died. It probably evolved into a more, people are like, oh, Codius is dead. No, see, Codius is the international translator. Imagine what Native Client is. It's sandboxed code. So you could have somebody speaking this computer language talking to somebody else speaking another computer language. Codius is Ripple's tech mixed with Google, which is all the government shit, and three-letter agencies and private contractors and shit like that, and a lot of non-disclosure agreements flying around with this. They needed the Interledger Protocol, which is what Ripple released to the world. They gave that to the World Wide Web, put it in the HTTP 402 spot in the internet. That's the payments area. When the internet was first made in 97, when the internet was first given to us people in 97, they had a slot in the internet for digital payments and stuff. We didn't have the technology in 97. That didn't come along until 17 years later in 2014, where Ripple came up with like Codius, but they called it Interledger Protocol. They gave that to the internet, the World Wide Web Consortium. It's some group of business in somewhere in Europe, probably Switzerland, where those are the people that control the internet. So they gave, in 2014, 11 years ago, Ripple, see, they had all this for 11 years that we know of, and maybe even before. But Evan Schwartz and Stefan Thomas, David Schwartz's brother, Evan Schwartz, nobody talks about him. Then there was also a Rebecca Schwartz at Ripple that nobody talks about. But you had Stefan Thomas in there with Evan Schwartz, and these geniuses came up with the Interledger Protocol, and they just gave that to the World Wide Web. 2014, they just gave it to them. But we haven't really used it. They did a transaction. They did a transaction to make sure that it works, and it did. And they just kind of walked away from that project, all nice and quiet. And everybody over the years kind of just forgot about Codius and said that it's dead. And Native Client just has no relevance anymore. But that's what the dumb people say. Because what they did is they tooled it. And they added to it, because now we're 11 years in the future. We got AI now. They didn't have that fully functioning like we do now. So they've added these things to the Codius, and I don't know what they're calling it now, but I know what they used to call it. So they had the interoperability, and I'm sure that it worked, but I think what they've done is now add more tech to that Codius idea to make it even better. And that's what India is using right now. And that's why Google backed Ripple backed Google. Ripple is backed by Google because they bought this technology called native client, which is an interoperable sandbox code. So with the assistance of Google, Ripple then made Interledger Protocol 2014, gave it to the internet. And then I'm sure over the years now, again, like I said, they've added AI and some other fancy stuff to it. And that's what India's using. And there's Ripple all over that particular project. So there's your evidence for that. Codius has been having a long sleep. Time to get out of bed. Now, let's look at a little bit of a Grok research that I did. Grok looked at the article. NPCI was started in 2008. That's just about the year Bitcoin hit the scene. I think Bitcoin hit the scene about late 2008. India's digital money system through the Unified Payments Interface launched in 2016. Now, the NPCI itself was launched in 2008. But we're talking about the interface. See, digital payments came out in India the same year that Bitcoin kind of came out. Total coincidence, I'm sure. Total coincidence. 2008, late. That's just about the time Bitcoin hit the scene. 2014, Ripple releases Interledger Protocol, which is Codius. 2 years later, India now has that UPI, United Payment Interface. That's the Codius right there. Now, it talks about 10 banks. 10 banks in India are members of this UPI, and they're all Ripple partners. ICICI, HDFC, Kotak Mahindra, Citibank, HSBC, etc. It already has biometrics involved in it. The same people that invented ADHARA, which is a digital identity program. You got FIS, Fidelity Information System. That's the absolute biggest payments company in the entire world, aggregator, whatever they're calling it. FIS, that's a Ripple partner. They have a Ripple patent. You got ACI Worldwide involved with this. They're a Ripple partner. There's the ADHAR. It's AADHAAR integration into this. So in the future, you're going to have your crypto. Maybe you can access it with your palm print, the retina, maybe a voice on top of that. Facial scan, do selfies, microchip in your hand, your phone, use your phone as a QR scan. But that's where we're going. And that's why ADHAR is mixed up, because it's India's biometric ID system. In America, we're going to have the same thing. All around the world, we're going to have the same thing. To where when you're traveling, you can go anywhere in the world and not have to use money because it's going to be in your account. So you can do a palm print on the thing and then speak a certain word like Red Rover, let Crypto Hulk come over, something like that, and something very professional like that. And then it would recognize who you are with your voice and confirmation, palm print voice, retinal scan voice, something like that to those effects. Now, what's interesting in India is you have a company called PhonePe. Phone, P-H-O-N-E, capital P-E at the end, all one word, PhonePe. That's a Ripple partner. That technology is Ripple, and that's also a Walmart-backed program. Google Pay is mixed up with this Indian payment. Paytm is involved. These platforms I just mentioned are 80% of the UPI transactions. We have another one. PhonePe was started by Flipkart, F-L-I-P-K-A-R-T. They process 50% of the volume. These are all Ripple partners. MPCI added 13 banks. Now remember, when you got 13 of your biggest banks, it may not sound like a lot, but the amount, it's kind of like this. If you take the top 10 economies of the whole entire world, that comes out to probably 70% of all the money on the planet, maybe even 80. When you have control of the top 10 banks of the entire world, you're controlling, I'm sure, at least half to 60% of all the money in the world. So you don't need to have thousands of banks. You just need to control the top 20, actually, and you got pretty much control of the whole world. That's how this is in India. So they got 13 banks, and probably at least half these banks are all running on Ripple technology. So we know who it is. Now, there's a secret crypto that I just found out that's mixed up in this. I'm going to tell you about it right now. If you were a $500 P person, you already know what it is. Not that you're going to probably be able to bump this one, but at least you found out first. So in case the price does kind of go up, you had probably 8 to 10 hours advance notice. You got Citibank mixed up in this. HSBC mixed up in this. And you'll have Wormhole. Wormhole is mixed up in this. That's a crypto they have at Caleb and Brown. That's the one I just found out yesterday. Wormhole. Ripple is using Wormhole to interact and interoperate with this Indian payment system. MasterCard's heavily involved in this with Ripple. Google Ventures, of course, is involved. And Ripple's UBRI, that's for universities. So now we got Indian and American universities, Google, MasterCard, they're bringing in everybody. Axis Bank in India, Yes Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank. You got the Ripple Labs stablecoin on the XRP ledger being used here. XRP is the bridge asset being used, according to Grok. SBI Bank is being used here. SBI Bank is a massive Ripple partner. They use the XRP ledger. The Japanese represent 50% of the XRP used for payments. So yeah, I was kind of shocked. Wormhole. Let me just take a quick look here at something. So Wormhole enables the Ripple stablecoin across Ethereum. Here's what Grok says about Wormhole. Wormhole is a leading cross-chain interoperability protocol. It's linked up with 35 blockchains. It focuses on DeFi. So that's why Wormhole is not popular right now. It will be because its use is DeFi, and we're not there yet. Oh, but we will be. Wormhole is indeed being used specifically as a core component to Ripple's ecosystem. Oh, that's big. In the expansion of the Ripple Labs stablecoin and the XRP ledger connectivity. The integration was announced June 2025 and expanded December 2025. That's like right now, enhancing Ripple's capabilities for cross-border payments. So there is no direct partnership with Wormhole in India or the NPCI, but what there is where Ripple is using their stablecoin, MasterCard, Ripple's allowing the interoperability in this, and that's where the Wormhole's being used. So it's not like they have an official agreement with Wormhole in the country of India. Now, that's what Ripple has with India, but that's all secret under non-disclosure that we're not supposed to know about. Now, we have, for the people that work at Wormhole, this is very interesting. You got some really sharp people at Wormhole. Saeed Bareg, he used to work at Google for cloud infrastructure, Microsoft Azure and stuff. He has expertise in cross-chain interoperability. You've got the Dan Reeser guy, advisor at Aave, DeFi lending, and Polygon scaling. A guy named Rachit Agarwal, he leads international outreach, including India. There's your India tie-in. He previously worked at Chainlink on Oracles, and at Consensus, he worked on Ethereum tools. Myra Sequeira has a background in Chainlink, and I will leave her job roles there. So when you look at the people at Wormhole, there's a lot of connections, a lot of people in the industry there with that project. It's almost kind of like everybody knows about Ripple and Ondo and Axelar. But a lot of people don't know about the wormhole. That's a massive Ripple. Ripple's using wormhole. It's like a core. The core of what Ripple does, that's what Grok is saying. We got 6 minutes left. Robert Driscoll, thank you very much for the tax-free donation there. Sitting back, strapped in, ready for lunch. Thanks, Hulk. Wormhole was big in the Canton Coin Partner Collection that you showed us, Hulk. Thanks for reminding us, Marky G. So Canton Coin is a partner. Let's look here. Real quick, we don't have... China's going to release... I got some here, the other channels nobody else has. Now you got China, and they're going to issue a digital yuan. This is news, December 28th. China to issue digital yuan management action plan. Beijing. China's central bank will issue an action plan on the cryptocurrency called the digital yuan of China with a new generation digital measurement framework and mechanism. Now, so that's China's stablecoin. Okay, United States doesn't have one, allegedly, right? Now, what's interesting is, here's the search question that I used. I asked Grok, let me send you my search code. So I didn't ask Grok, I'm sorry, it was Google, the Chat GPT or whatever it is. I asked Google, I put it in the question here, when did China announce the release of their Chinese digital yuan? So it turns out the ECNY, China initiated pilot programs for its electronic. So the CNY is what we're talking about here. The E represents the electronic version. Okay. China initiated the pilot for this in 2020. Okay. Now I'm going to show you who really made it. Oh shit. Here we go. This is why Crypto Hulk shadow banned right here for doing shit for you, just like this. Here's a video that I did 3 years ago. Go to the 36-second mark. 36-second mark. What do we see right here? Ripple China. Oh, shit, Crypto Hulk. How do you fucking do it? What do you see below there? CNY. What's the date on there? 2022? No, it's 2013. When Ripple just became a company, right? Because they're a startup. Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, all you XRP fanboys out there who like going to the Ripple concerts and stuff and getting the David Schwartz t-shirts and sitting down at lunch breaking bread with the Ripple crew, right? All these poor bastards that do that dumb shit. What are we looking at right here at the 36-second mark? Ripple China. CNY, everybody. That's the ECNY 2013. Now, the article I just showed, the Grok, the Google AI, said that China initiated the CNY in 2020. That's not true. That's not true at all. See, evidence that I have that the best AI doesn't have. See, I got the evidence that even the best of AI doesn't have. So I use AI to do my channel, but it can't do everything. And it's not as smart as Crypto Hulk. Okay. It just works faster. The real Chinese yuan I'm showing here Ripple out of. Now let me ask you a question. Somebody has to go to a Ripple concert, fanboy concert, and say, David Schwartz, I have a question while you're on stage. Crypto Hulk has shown us that there's Ripple China, and we have the actual website page because he shows us. It says Ripple China CNY 2013. David Schwartz, could you explain how Ripple, that supposedly a startup, Brad was just a boy from Kansas, how does a startup company make the official money of a communist government, especially when Ripple out of San Francisco is in the United States? How did you get the authorization to make Chinese money in 2013? Brad or David, I'll take that from either one of you. Thank you. Then the whole crowd went, oh. And then now you can watch that. I made this video. Let's go. Let's have a little fun right here. If you go to the 31-second mark, what I'm showing you right here is the Ripple customer list. Oh, shit. The people at Ripple are going to just love this. I have the Ripple customer list right here. Nobody else on the internet has this except me. What we have here is a 2013, when Ripple first hit the scene, Ripple China. We got Ripple Fox. We got No Fiat Coin, Mr. Ripple, The Rock Trading. This list goes on and on. I could show you guys maybe part of this. I've shown this thing before. Then we get into the 36-second mark where it's clearly showing Ripple China and all that CNY. Then you got, yeah. If you go to like the 40, let's back it up. If you go to like the 43-second mark, what do we see? Ripple Dividend. Dividend IOU. We're looking at 2014 right here. There's the wallet address. You can type that wallet address in, go to XRP scan, and tell me what you see. You can also show that at Ripple, your next Ripple concert you go to, and have them explain what is Ripple Dividend, and where you had the automated market maker. It was called the XMM. China's best Ripple communication forum. Oh, wow. 2014, huh? This is what you're seeing. If you go exactly to the 58-second mark, you'll see right here, 58-second mark, XMM, Market Making Fund. The XMM started in March 2014 as a what? Nonprofit experimental program. What is this? Monetary funds are organized by issuing IOUs. So this is when we talked earlier about India making pathways for payments. This is what Ripple is doing here. You have a system of IOUs. So Ripple finds the fastest path by companies that trust each other, okay, to make payments. So I trust you. I'm going to send you $100. You trust them. You're going to send. That's how the Ripple platform works in a nutshell. Monetary funds are issued using IOUs. So there's these big networks of banks trusting other banks and allowing flows of money. You make profits through market making. So we have, wait a second, we have Ripple Dividend. So when you have a dividend in stocks and bonds and you issue profits, isn't that a security? Oh, don't let Gary Gensler hear this. Don't let Gary Gensler hear this. He'll say he was right the whole time. I was right the whole time. I told everybody. But here's where Gary Gensler was right and he was wrong. What Ripple did is they operated outside of the United States on purpose. I want you to understand why, because Ripple hasn't explained this to you, but I'm going to explain it for Ripple, okay? That's what you get on Crypto Hulk Show. Deep dive information that's fun. Now, Ripple came out with something called an AMM, Automated Market Maker. they've started this all in China in 2014. So Ripple announced like a year ago or 2 years ago, something like that. They have a brand new XLS 80 or whatever it is, the automated market maker. I was telling you guys about that before Ripple even announced it. I was showing you this here in 2022 before Ripple even came out with their automated market maker. I already told you about it. That's how advanced we are on the Crypto Hulk show. You had something called the XMM, and what they did is you were making profits through something called Ripple Dividend, and regularly, it says right there, regularly distributing dividends. So let me ask you a question. If you have something called a dividend and you're giving profits on a regular basis stuff, isn't that a security? Because aren't you relying on somebody else and then you work together to make a profit? That's the Howey test. That's a security. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But Crypto Hulk, why didn't they get in trouble? Because here's what Ripple did. They knew they couldn't do this in the United States because it'd be illegal. And then everybody'd find out what they're doing. You want to keep it on the down low. So here's how you do it. Let me tell you how you avoid securities laws. What you do is you just simply operate like this outside of the United States. Why do you think Ripple had in Brazil a headquarters like 10, 11 years ago in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and all these? Why does Ripple have these different locations in Mumbai, India? So they could do all this shit and not have to follow U.S. securities laws. Oh, shit. That's fucking brilliant. So this is how Ripple, now Ripple didn't want this to come out in court. So all these people, it was funny. It was hilarious. Remember when Ripple was in court, they'd have these phone calls and all these poor bastards would like try to get it on the Ripple call and see if you could hear anything. Oh, no, because they cock blocked you. And Ripple made it to where they couldn't give up their trade secrets and how they did it. Well, guess what? Crypto Hulk has a show, and I'm giving you the trade secrets and how they did it, okay? I don't need to listen to that fucking phone call. I already know how they did it right here. This is just one example. I could go through and tell you exactly how Ripple went through all their marketing and all these things. All that was sealed in the court case, right? But guess what? I'm not involved in the court case. I'm showing you right here how Ripple did it. It's the XMM. This is what they call the automated market maker. And you're having dividends and passing out money for market making. These are all securities, okay? So technically, Ripple's in the XRP is not a security, but if it was in the United States where they were doing this, it would be. Is it security type behavior? Yes. But that's why Ripple had all these foreign locations so they don't get in trouble for it by the SEC. The whole thing with Gary Gensler, that thing was all fake, all right? That was a fake trial. All right. Let's take a look here. Enemy of my friend is my friend. Let's make a global crypto connection map. This channel will get shut down for that. I already lost one channel. I mean, I have the customer list. And that list I showed you, it's linked. So I can click on it and it takes me, and I can see everything they've done. Part of me is not showing you a whole lot of this stuff because that's going to get another channel of mine taken away. So maybe when this thing takes off and everything, we're all rich and everything, and Crypto Hulk channels no more, then if people are interested, I'll give you the list and where I found it on the internet. And you can look for yourself and see all the secrets that Ripple didn't want exposed. I know how they incentivized and did all that stuff. Very interesting. All right, we are at an hour and 9 minutes. Go to all public libraries, publish the list there. what I'll do is I'll publicly release the Ripple customer list, and from there, that's how I found out. That's how I have found out all these things. The Ripple Russia, all that, the Ripple channel, all this shit's in the Ripple customer list. 2013, I got it, and I share it with you carefully so I don't get in too much trouble. But yeah, there's no other crypto influencer that has the Ripple customer list of 2013 and 14. I got both years. And I can just look through there and, oh, they're doing that with them and this. And there's a lot of shit in there I can't really discuss because, yeah, it kind of deals with certain communist countries and socialist ones. I don't want to get in a lot of trouble. You know what I mean? I've already stepped in some doo-doo up to my knees. But that's how I'm able to come up with this information. I got a lot of access to private websites that nobody has. And I share it with you. Little clip it stuff like this to let you know you're on the right track. I've already found who the winners are, who the early Ripple customers are. We already know who they are. So that's why I'm showing you this. All this is a part of a five family. The five families that run the world, and a government in Germany and France, and these governments are all involved in this. And like I showed you that one thing the other day where it came back military, like it goes into that. Like that's why I'm not showing you all this stuff, because it's going to get me all kinds of fucked up, and I'll lose another channel. I've already lost one channel, but the government is mixed up in these things. I'm not showing you documents and shit because I'm going to get in so much fucking trouble. I already know. So I'm just going to give you that. And people say, well, you don't have evidence. I'm not showing evidence. I showed you the XMM. That's enough. But there's like way more shit that I got. But I'm not putting that out there because I'll just lose another channel. What's the fucking point of that, right? So with that, I'm going to go work out a little bit. I'm going in the cold plunge after that. Hey, some days I can't go in the cold plunge that long. I've noticed 9 to 12 minutes just depends on the day. You know, whew, man, that shit's 40 degrees. I got to get used to that. That's going to take me about 3 weeks to a month. Then after that, my next step is 35-degree water. All right, I'll see y'all in the next one. I don't know if I'll do a show tonight. I probably will. If I can find the news articles, I will. And I'll see you then.